Cute. Okay. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 TBR books, or at least top 10 books on my physical TBR. So I'm just going to be talking about the 10 books on my physical TBR that I am 10, not 5, 10. The 10 books I'm most excited to read. We have several different genres. I'm just going to try not to ramble on about these books like I have in some of my other videos. I don't think I should be able to ramble about these because I haven't read them. This first book is not a novel, and I actually just received it yesterday from a friend, but I think it's super sweet and I can't wait to look through it. It's called Here Sister Let Me Help You Up, Messages of Sisterhood, Self-Care, and Body Love by Stephanie Chin. It's like this little illustrated book with like pretty little like positive affirmations and illustrations and little paragraphs next to them. It's about like loving yourself and loving others, and I thought it was super sweet because my friend said that it just reminded her of me, so she got it. It is just super cute and like pretty. Like, look at that. It's so pretty, and obviously it'll be like a really fast read because it's like not like a novel, but I think it's such a cute thing to have. And these are in no particular order, by the way. Probably should have mentioned that. So this next one is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. It is like a horror novel, and I haven't read a ton of those. I've been liking like scarier, like spooky novels, so I think this will be a really good one to read in like October. I am so excited for fall. Like, I'm usually like a spring summer girl, but this year it's just too hot for me. It's been like 108 like every day for the past week. Once it gets to be a little bit colder, spooky time, I'm really excited to read some horror novels, some thrillers, scare myself out of my pants. So I guess I'll read you like the descriptions, I guess. Long ago, Nathan lived in a house in the country with his abusive father and has never told his family what happened there. Long ago, Maddie, even scarier. Long ago, Maddie was a little girl making dolls in her bedroom when she saw something she shouldn't have, and is trying to remember that lost trauma by making haunting sculptures. Long ago, something sinister, something hungry, walked in the tunnels and the mountains and the coal mines of rural Pennsylvania. Now, Nate and Maddie Graves are married, and they have moved back to their hometown with their son, Oliver. And now what happened long ago is happening again, and it is happening to Oliver. He meets a strange boy who becomes his best friend, a boy with secrets of his own and a taste for dark magic. This dark magic puts them at the heart of a battle of good versus evil and a fight for the soul of the family, and perhaps for all of the world. But the Graves family has a secret weapon in this battle, their love for one another. I'm hoping this horrifies me. Also, it's like one of my most floppy paperbacks, and we love a good floppy paperback. Less spooky, more sad. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. Fuck you. Okay. This is a romance novel. Everything I know about this book has been basically from Instagram, like the Bookstagram community, because everybody is so obsessed with this book. I've heard that it's like a romance and it's steamy and it's also really sad. So it's also like a small town vibe, which I like. I can't wait to have my heart broken by this one. The back says, I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Pelion, Maine, to forget everything I had left behind, the sound of rain, the blood, the coldness of a gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived, and my dad didn't. I'm almost safe again. But the moment I meet Archer Hale, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rights itself again. Until I trespass into his strange, silent, and isolated world, Archer communicates with no one. Yet in his whiskey-colored eyes, something intangible happens between us. There's so much more to him than just his beauty, his presence, or the way his hands communicate with me. On me. But this town is mired in secrets and betrayals, and Archer is the explosive center of it all. So much passion and so much hurt, but it's in Archer's silence that we might just find what we need to heal and to live. Obviously, it sounds like some deep shit. I mean, from what I know about it, it's about this girl who meets this guy who doesn't talk, but also, like, he does communicate somehow, because I've seen quotes from the books. I don't know if he, like, ends up speaking or if he, like, does something else. I don't know, but I've seen quotes from the book where it seems like they're having a conversation. I don't actually know. Like I said, I don't know that much about this book. Okay, next is the first book in a series. You're probably not going to be surprised. It is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. You're probably not surprised that I'm talking about this, but you might be surprised that I haven't read this, because it seems like everybody and their mother has read this. I remember this being really popular when I was in, like, middle school, but I never read it because I was just very big on reading Twilight over and over again for some reason. Every book lover on the internet loves this. I've heard a lot about Erin Warner. This is a favorite of some of my favorite book lifestyle content creators. I'm really excited because I don't read a lot of, like, YA dystopian anymore, obviously, but I used to, because, you know, like, with the Hunger Games, like, everything was dystopian after that. And I read that series in middle school, and then I read the Selection series in high school, and that's also, like, a dystopian romance type series. It's been a while since I've read, like, a good dystopian, so this one sounds like really good. So here's what the back says. The moon understands what it means to be human, uncertain, alone, cratered by imperfections. No one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the re-establishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time, and to find a future with the one boy she thought she'd lost forever. In the electrifying first book in the Shatter Me series, Tahira Mafi presents a riveting dystopian world, a thrilling superhero story, and an unforgettable heroine. So I have been hesitant to start it because technically I'm in the middle of the Throne of Glass series, and I really don't want to, like, be reading, like, two super long, complicated series at the same time, because I feel like I would be getting things mixed up within them. But I think I'm going to stop reading Throne of Glass because I've only read the first one. I'm going to wait until the new covers come out, and then I'm going to get all of those. And this is, like, totally unrelated, but I own Throne of Glass, The Assassin's Blade, and Crown of Midnight. So I might just sell those on, like, Pango Books or something. Anyway, that's Shatter Me. Back to the romance genre. This is probably the one that I'm most excited about, which means I'm going to read it next. And it just came in the mail yesterday. And so if you follow me on my Instagram account, then you know what book this is. But it is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've seen, like, everyone rave about this book and how amazing it is, and so I finally purchased it. When I tell you I am so excited, I am so excited. And when I posted that I got it, like, it came in the mail, so many people DM'd me and they were like, I'm so excited for you. I read the description on the back and it gave me butterflies. Legitimately, just reading the description gave me butterflies. So if that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. So here is said description. Macy Sorensen is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot Petropoulos, is that how you say it? That's how I'm going to say it. The first and only love of her life. The careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. Once upon a time, Elliot was Macy's entire world. Growing from her gangly, bookish friend into the man who coaxed her heart open again, only to break it on the very night he declared his love for her. Why do I want to cry just reading the back of this book? Told in alternating timelines between then and now, teenage Elliot and Macy grow from friends to much more, spending weekends and lazy summers together in a house outside San Francisco, devouring books, sharing favorite words, and talking through their growing pains and triumphs. As adults, they have become strangers to one another until their chance reunion. Although their memories are obscured by the agony of what happened that night so many years ago, Elliot will come to understand the truth behind Macy's decade-long silence and will have to overcome the past in himself to revive her faith in the possibility of an all-consuming love. Oh my god, why is my pump beeping at a moment like this? I'm having a moment. Shut up, thank you. What did they put in this book? Like, how is the back giving me that many feelings? Like, I'm almost intimidated to read this. Because if the back makes me feel like that, like, I don't even want to know what the rest of the book is going to make me feel like. Basically, every other chapter is like then and now, and they haven't seen each other for 11 years, and it's a second chance romance. Childhood friends to lovers. Or like more like childhood friends to lovers to strangers to lovers. I think. I think this might be like one of my new all-time favorites ever. 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 Shout out to Bookmarks by Liv on Instagram. I'm gonna use this one. I'm currently using the Taylor Swift album one in my current read, and I'm gonna read this one. It says Taylor Swift and books are all I need. Which, like, so true, bestie. I am reading this next, and I am literally shitting my pants. I cannot wait. This one is If We Were Villains by ML Rio. It seems like a very similar premise to The Secret History, which I read back in late April, early May. And I didn't love it. I talked about it in my last video. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. But I was actually really disappointed by it because I was just expecting more. So this actually seems like it could be what I was hoping The Secret History would be, if that makes sense. Enter the players. There were 7 of us then, 7 bright young things with wide, precious futures ahead of us. Until that year, we saw no farther than the books in front of our faces. On the day Oliver Marks is released from jail, the man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colborne wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is finally ready to tell it. A decade ago. Oliver is one of 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delliker Classical Conservatory, a place of keen ambition and fierce competition. In the secluded world of firelight and leather-bound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off: hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue, extra. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy and their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other, and themselves that they are innocent. It's an academic setting. Instead of being like Greek classic students, they're Shakespearean theater students, so you know it's going to be dramatic as hell. Oh, and also, I got this on Pango Books, and she included this little bookmark that matches the cover, and if that's not the cutest thing ever, I don't know what is. It's an academic setting with a murder mystery. This one seems to have a lot of potential to be what I hope The Secret History would be. It is beautiful, it is dark and mysterious. It also seems like a really good read for the fall. There are a ton of books on my TBR shelf that I'm saving for the fall, just because I'm kind of a seasonal reader. Like, I like to read books that fit the season. Some more lighthearted. Well, actually, this isn't lighthearted. It is A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I am really excited to read this, because, like, it's supposed to be heart-shatteringly sad. Like, I've seen book content creators who did like a reading vlog of this or did a review of this, and they said that they never really cry at books, but this one made them sob. And like, I'm someone who doesn't really cry at books. I may tear up every now and again, but like, I don't really like openly sob. So I'm really hoping that this does that to me, because I really want to feel something that isn't sadness for my own life. I'm hoping that this kind of just like gives me all the feels, because sometimes you just need to cry, you know? So here's the back. One kiss lasts a moment, but 1,000 kisses can last a lifetime. One boy, one girl, a bond that is forged in an instant and cherished for a decade. A bond that neither time nor distance can break. A bond that will last forever, or so they believe. When 17-year-old Rune Christensen returns from his native Norway to the sleepy town of Blossom Grove, Georgia, where he befriended Poppy Litchfield as a child, he has just one thing on his mind. Why did the girl who was one half of his soul, who promised to wait faithfully for his return, cut him off without a word of explanation. Rune's heart was broken 2 years ago when Poppy fell silent. When he discovers the truth, he finds that the greatest heartache is yet to come. That sounds heart-shattering. Okay, we have 3 more. One time I was doing my sorority's initiation because our president couldn't be there, and I was the director of ceremonies, so I conducted the ceremony for her, and I was really thirsty beforehand, and all I had was a Diet Dr. Pepper on me, so I chugged it, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna burp in the middle of the ceremony because I had to talk like a bunch. And I don't know why I'm telling you this story, but that just reminds me of it. Anyway, this is The Never King by Nikki St. Croix. I bought this after seeing one video about it, and it said it was a Peter Pan Wendy retelling. And y'all, from like 8th grade to 12th grade, I was obsessed with Once Upon a Time's Peter Pan character, okay? Like, obsessed is like an understatement, genuinely. Like, I actually mean that, and I'm not exaggerating. I was crazy, okay? So, naturally, I love me a good villainous Peter Pan, okay? Then I saw that this was spicy, which all the characters are above the age of 18. They're all aged up, just for the record. A spicy reverse harem Peter Pan and the Lost Boys retelling, and I was like, that's not something I would have gone for when I was like 16. But I've recently discovered some things about myself that made me intrigued. So I bought it, and I was expecting it to be a lot bigger, but it's actually really teeny tiny, which is good because it's like a nice, quick, spicy read. You can read it in like a day. It's like one of those like in-between reads, you know? Like, sort of like cleanse your palate from like a big, complicated book. Here's what the back says. The stories were all wrong. Hook was never the villain. For 2 centuries, all of the darling women have disappeared on their 18th birthday. Sometimes they're gone for only a day, some a week or a month. But they always return broken. Now, on the afternoon of my 18th birthday, my mother is running around the house making sure all the windows are barred and the door's locked, but it's pointless. Because when night falls, he comes for me, and this time, the Never King and the Lost Boys aren't willing to let me go. I don't know why I never thought of this before, but like a reverse harem scenario in that situation, like, that's like the natural conclusion, you know? I've heard very, very dark and spicy things about this one, and honestly, I don't know, like, I saw the size of it, and I was like, how spicy can it possibly be? It's like 200 pages. But I just keep hearing things about it. I just keep hearing things, and wow, man. Twisted Love by Anna, is it Huang? Sorry if I like totally butchered that. My bad. I've heard really great things about this, and I've also heard like okay things about this. Everyone says that the second one is better. And everyone really likes the last one that just came out, like, a month or 2 ago. I love the covers for these. I do not like the other covers for them, if you know what I'm talking about. Just, like, pictures of men staring at you. I mean, like, no shame if you, like that kind of thing, but that's just really not my kind of thing. I really like these because they're just so pretty. And they're all, like, light colors, and I can't wait to have all of them on my shelf in a row. This is a romance book. This is a brother's best friend, I believe. The top says, he has a heart of ice, but for her, he'd burn the world, which is like, as all men should. Alex Volkov is a devil blessed with the face of an angel and cursed with a past he can't escape. Driven by a tragedy that has haunted him for most of his life, his ruthless pursuits for success and vengeance leave little room for matters of the heart. But when he's forced to look after his best friend's sister, he starts to feel something in his chest. A crack, a melt, a fire that could end his world as he knew it. Ava Chen is a free spirit trapped by nightmares of a childhood she can't remember. But despite her broken past, she's never stopped seeing the beauty in the world, including the heart beneath the icy exterior of a man she shouldn't want. Her brother's best friend, her neighbor, her savior, and her downfall. Theirs is a love that was never supposed to happen, but when it does, it unleashes secrets that could destroy them both and everything they hold dear. I've heard there's really good spice in this series. The men and the girls are just great characters all around. I just can't get over how pretty it is. Like, that's so pretty. Last to win. This is They Wish They Were Us. Now, this is one that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. Basically, the reason I'm so excited to read this is because the plot seems very Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but it's like Old Money on the East Coast vibes as well. And I love that, like, so much. It takes place at, like, I don't know if it's a boarding school or just like a private high school or something, with like some murder, because you can see like the blood. Here's what the back says. It's a miracle anyone gets out of high school alive. So true, bestie. In Gold Coast, Long Island, everything, from the expensive downtown shops to the manicured beaches to the pressed uniforms of Jill Newman and her friends, looks perfect. But as Jill found out 3 years ago, nothing is as it seems. Everything is not what it seems. Freshman year, Jill's best friend, the brilliant, dazzling Shayla Arnold, was killed by her boyfriend. That sounds familiar. After that dark night on the beach, Graham confessed the case was closed and Jill tried to move on. Now it's Jill's senior year and she's determined to make it her best. After all, she's a senior and a player. A member of Gold Coast Prep's exclusive, not-so-secret secret society. Senior players have the best parties, the highest grades, and the admiration of the entire school. This is going to be Jill's year. She's sure of it. But when Jill starts getting texts proclaiming Graham's innocence, her dreams of the perfect senior year start to crumble. If Graham didn't kill Shayla, who did? Jill vows to find out, but digging deeper means putting her friendships and her future in jeopardy. The plot is very reminiscent of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but with like an old money aesthetic, and I love the old money aesthetic. And that is my top 10 books on my TBR. I will not be doing a video where I talk about every book on my TBR because that would literally be like hours long because I talk so much. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Check out my Bookstagram, etc., etc. Love you. Bye.